2025. If you would all please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 1 is approval of minutes from our last meeting, and those are not ready yet, so we need to do anything motion-wise with that? Okay, we'll jump to the next thing I'd like to do is just read a quick order from the state that says that fire restrictions that have been in place here in Carbon and Emery counties have been lifted. Moderate fire danger and improved weather conditions have resulted in reduced wildfire hazard for Utah. As a result, Stage 1 fire restrictions enacted are hereby rescinded within the areas described below. So all unincorporated, private, and all state lands throughout Utah here in Carbon and Emery County. So this does not affect private lands within incorporated towns or city limits. But you still, if you're going to burn branches and trees and things like that, you still have to get a permit from Jeremy Jorgensen, who's our fire warden, until October 31st. After that, I'm not sure. I guess that you can burn after that date, Justin?
So after that date, you can get a burn permit by calling dispatch.
Okay, by dispatch. Thank you. Okay, next item on our agenda. I think if we can, we're going to jump to item number 7. So Todd can get to a meeting he needs to go to. So item 7 is consideration and possible adoption of ordinance 588, a change to the Carbon County zoning district map from rural residential 2.5 acres to rural residential 1-20,000 square foot residential zone on parcel 02-1655-0003 for Terry McKendrick. So Todd, why don't you come up? This is a pretty straightforward change to a zoning area.
Yeah, thank you. So last week, Planning Commission, we reviewed it. Where this property is located is at the end of 600 West. It ends in a cul-de-sac, and Terry's property is just to the west of the end of that cul-de-sac. All around it, those homes are all zoned 20,000 square feet zone, which is approximately half acre. So we had a discussion at Planning Commission. There wasn't any concerns. All the water, sewer, utilities are all there in the road. So she just wants to zone change it so she can do a 1-lot subdivision for a building lot. But it was passed unanimously or recommended unanimously by the Planning Commission.
Any questions for Todd?
I don't have any questions.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we adopt ordinance 588, a change in the Carbon County zoning district map from rural residential 2.5 acres RR-2.5 to R1 2,000 square foot residential zone R1 20K on parcel 02-1655-0003 for Terry McKendrick.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Item number 2, open sealed bids for carpet cleaning services.
We received one bid from Clean Tech. And this was says we propose the following carpet cleaning for 35 cents per square foot and $3 per stair. Just says these aren't our normal rates, but we feel the volume of square footage allows us to make this competitive offer. That's from Clean Tech Management. Their price.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or discussion?
Did it, I don't have that in front of me here. Did it say what facilities that was? The carp was going to be cleaned?
That's what I was trying to decide here. Barry called me for this meeting and asked if he needed to be here, and I told him no, but he didn't tell me what buildings it was for, so I'm not sure, and this it doesn't.
Well, it shows in our stuff that the administration building, the sheriff's office, the event center, the ambulance facility, the airport, and the 7th District Court building. Must be for all of those.
Thank you.
Motion to accept the bid and recommendation.
I'll make a motion that we accept the carpet cleaning bid.
All second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 3 is open sealed bids for auditing services.
We surprisingly didn't receive any.
Okay, so
I would then suggest or make a motion that we acknowledge we didn't receive any bids and let the clerk auditor reach out to those and negotiate with others to fill this contract.
Yeah, we have several in mind, and a great company we use right now. So we'll just, if it's all right, solicit bids and look for the best one that fits our needs and is hopefully the lowest price one as well.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 4 is open request for proposal for emergency medical services and interfacility transport. Justin.
We have one bid. And it looks like it's from Justin.
Imagine that. So if you're okay that I take a few minutes?
Yes.
So this last year, so Carbon County Ambulance is up for relicensure. Last year, the legislature changed the law, and anyone who's up for relicensure has to go out for proposals, including government entities. We're working with some people to try and change that so government entities don't have to open proposals for the business they already do. But along that, we are up for relicensure at the end of this month, and so this is part of the process. As part of that process, we have to submit a bid and then do a proposal in an open public meeting. So Carbon County Ambulance is a 24/7, 365-day service. As you guys are well aware, we have currently 30 employees, 7 of which are full-time, the other 23 are part-time. To fill that service, we operate on a 12-hour cycle, so from 5 to 5, and then 5 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, 5 in the afternoon till 5 in the morning. We have one crew there, 2 EMTs or paramedics at all times, and then a second crew that's on call. As part of that, last year, so all these numbers are from 2024 since we're in the middle of 2025, we had a total of 1,866 calls. Of those 1,866 calls, 1,516 were 911 calls and 352 were interfacility transports. Of that 1,866 calls, only 1,204 of them were what we consider billable calls. So we spent $1,707,393.79 on the ambulance service. We had a total of $1,637,426.93 in revenue. So that is a difference of $69,966.86. And so That gives you an idea. We lose money a little bit every year. Some monies we just break even. Some of that goes into, we had ambulances break down, ambulance wreck last year. So some of those things ate into some of our cost. For quality and access of those runs, we had 1,066 runs in Price City, which is about 70% of our calls. We had 282 in Helper and 156 in Wellington, and the rest of those were out in the county or in like Wellington or in Schofield, some of those other places. With that being said, we cover quite a large area. Our average being notified of a 911 call to on scene is just over 7 minutes, about 7.5. Our average on scene time, so the time that from when we get on scene till we head to the hospital, is 18.6 minutes. Our average unit or our average time from leaving the scene to getting to the hospital is 10.1 minutes. And our average time at the hospital is 28 minutes. And so that's kind of the breakdown of our run times. Obviously, if our one station is here in Price City. So if you're in Price City, our response times are a lot quicker. And if you happen to be at the mine up above Schofield, it's a lot longer. So those are all averages of some of those. Not that we have a lot of calls at the mine, but we do have several wrecks at the top of the canyon. And so that increases our average response time. We have a fairly robust training program. We meet once a month for crew meeting and training where we cover different things. We also have what we call a mega code program. So all of our employees come in and they run through like a critical call, someone who's unconscious and not breathing, and make sure they know how to run those calls and quality improvement. We've also spent money on an online training platform to help keep up our continuing education hours. And so we try to provide the best service we can for the community. Do you have any questions for me?
That was pretty extensive. I appreciate it. It is nice to have this service in this community. The training, the paramedic status that you talk about too. Hopefully we got more that are working towards that status. It's like a continual education facility over there. So thank you for that. And it's great to have this in our community.
Yeah, so right now we're licensed as what we call paramedic when available. So we always have at least an advanced EMT on, but if we have a paramedic on, we are able to bill at paramedic rates. We have 2 other advanced EMTs in the paramedic program right now. Definitely benefits us as an agency and Carbon County as a whole. So the goal would be maybe someday be a full-time paramedic program, but that takes a lot of training and hours to get everyone there. So.
Thank you, Justin. You guys do a great job. We're in good hands.
So with being the only proposal, if you guys are good with it, a motion would be very well entertained to get my licensure deposited to say that you would move forward with that proposal, and then a letter saying such tomorrow morning would be wonderful.
You have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve carbon medic or EMS services for our transports area. I pronounced that correctly.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 5 is a consideration and possible approval of Resolution 2025-05 of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners supporting a bolder way forward. Christina Pay.
Is me, but I'm going to let Stacy Ann introduce us.
All right, I wrote a little thing down. Boulder Way Forward in Carbon County is a grassroots effort dedicated to lifting up women and girls, which in turn benefits all residents of our community. We believe that when we work together, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So we actively collaborate with existing local programs and initiatives to create positive, lasting change. So leading the efforts are myself, Stacey Ann Maxwell, a fellow advocate, Brenda Adley, who couldn't make it, and Christina Pay. I am a wife and mother of 3 with a background in communications and design. I'm passionate about empowering women, changing the narrative on what they can achieve, and connecting people with resources. Today, we are excited to introduce all of our other members that are here with us today of our coalition before we present our proposal.
Shelley Wright, I am the child sexual abuse spoke.
I am Karim Drix. I'm the Home and Family Spoke representative.
I'm Shara Sumnall, new to working with the group. I'm one of the spokes, but checking back on which one. Thankful to be here.
There are 18 spokes in a Boulder Way Forward, and each spoke is a concern or an area where women and girls are lacking in the state of Utah. And so I'm really proud to be here today to help represent, I'm going to cry, all these wonderful women and the women in the state, and especially here in Carbon County. And we do this because we love the women and girls in Carbon County. We want them to have the very best opportunities to be successful and healthy in life. And so we are seeking approval of a resolution, and I would like to read this if I might. A resolution of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners supporting a Boulder Way Forward, a statewide initiative to help women and girls thrive. Whereas the Utah Women in Leadership Project at Utah State University developed and leads a Boulder Way Forward, a framework designed to help Utah women and girls thrive. And whereas the Carbon County Board of Commissioners recognizes the importance of supporting a Boulder Way Forward to strengthen opportunities for women and girls in Utah. And whereas Utah women were the first in the nation to cast ballots under an equal suffrage law, reflecting our state's history of leadership in advancing women's voices and opportunities. And whereas the Carbon County Board of Commissioners recognizes that women and girls have access to health, safety, freedom, education, equal representation, and fair employment, all Utahns, including men, boys, and families, thrive. And whereas the Carbon County Board of Commissioners will utilize the research and policy guidance provided by a Boulder Way Forward to inform decisions that elevate women in Utah. And whereas the Carbon County Board of Commissioners embraces the mission of a Boulder Way Forward and supports actions that ensure women and girls can thrive, strengthening the community as a whole. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Carbon County Board of Commissioners, acting as the legislative body for Carbon County, that 1, October is hereby declared a Boulder Way Forward month in Carbon County. 2, the board will prioritize policies and outreach that advance women's and girls' health, safety, education, workplace equality, and community engagement. And 3, Carbon County is designated a Boulder Way Forward county in Utah, committed to enhancing the well-being of women and girls, and in turn, all residents. I'd like to put this forward for your consideration.
Sounds good. I think we're supportive of it. Is there any comments?
Yeah, no, it's, we have the Miss Carbon County pageant, we support that, and it's just fun to see all the girls as they progress through that and they support this community. Working with Shelley Wright as well, you see the other side of that. So anything that we can do to support girls, ladies in this community, I think is wonderful.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Yeah, and I'm also a spoke for the public civic spoke, and I appreciate my time with the Boulder Way Forward. I felt a little odd at first, being the only male, and then you realize that they need male allyship as well.
We have 2.
Yeah, we got 2 now. So that's good. No, I just appreciate it, and I appreciate all your efforts. Having two daughters myself and a wife and family, I see the importance of what you do and how we, treat our women in our area.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve resolution number 2025-05 of the county, of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners supporting a Boulder Way Forward.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. I do have a certificate, and yay, everybody clap. Another step forward for women and girls. I do have a certificate of recognition, presented to Carbon County, hereby designated a Boulder Way Forward County in Utah. And we are the 3rd county in Utah to be designated such. So thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank all of you. Appreciate your efforts. Item 6 is review and possible approval of the 2025 Co-op Marketing Grant Agreement. Tina.
Hi, Commissioners. So this year, our office again applied for the Co-op Marketing Grant. Funding again was extremely cut this year. And so I originally applied for $61,000. We would then match that, would be a total marketing budget of $122,000. I received we were received and awarded $32,500. So when we match that, it's a total paid marketing budget of $65,000. So this is just the memorandum and agreement between the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity, the Utah Office of Tourism, and Carbon County. So if this is agreed upon today, our next step is to send an invoice to the Utah Office of Tourism, which they then provide 50% of the $32,500. They provide the other 50% at the end when we do our final report. So,
Any questions for Tina?
I don't have any questions, just compliments. I appreciate what you're doing, your efforts. It's fun to see and watch.
Thank you.
Thank you for pursuing this to keep that going.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I thank you for working hard on grants, to help offset the cost to our citizens' budgets. So thank you for that effort.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2025 Co-op Marketing Grant Agreement.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you, Commissioners. I will just add that they have changed the way they do things. So I don't need a physical signature today. If it was approved, which it has been, I email GOEO office and give them the name and email the signator, which would be you, Larry, and they do everything digitally now. So I'll be sending that.
Thank you.
And
You
do you
bet.
send the invoice too, or do we need to send one?
No, I do that, and they prepare it in the clerk's office for us. Thank you.
We've already taken care of item 7. Item 8 is consideration and possible approval of deeds and reconveyance of parcel 02-0953-0000 and number 02-0954-0000. And maybe a little bit of an explanation. Seth may add more, but this is the Division of Natural Resource Building on Carbonville Road that Carbon County had bonds for the building of that facility for the state. And the agreement was that at the end of those bond payments, that the building and properties would be turned over to the state of Utah, the Division of Facilities Management. So those documents have been prepared. So this would convey that ownership to the state of Utah. Anything to add, Seth?
No, you covered it great.
They actually paid this off early, correct? So
Yeah, they paid off a year early, so yep, good to get it taken care of.
I think it's important to just note that some of the debt the county has is not just our debt, but it's passed through.
Yeah, so the district court building is another example of that on Main Street. So the state of Utah leases that from us, and the lease payment makes the debt payment plus some maintenance on the building.
I'll go ahead and make a motion then that we issue approval of the deeds of reconveyance of parcel number 02-0953-0000 and parcel number 02-0954-0000.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You know, Lynn, there's one question that this is in the name of the building authority, not in the name of the county. Do we need to come out of county commission meeting and go into building authority and make that motion?
I'm glad you picked that up. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Okay, so I need a motion to go out of our commission meeting and into the Carbon County Building Authority.
I'll make the motion that we get out of our commission meeting and convene as the building authority.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we need a time on that, Lori or Seth? So at 4:56. So now let's have the motion.
I'll try this again. I'll go ahead and make a motion then that we issue approval of deeds and reconveyance of parcel number 02-0953-0000 and parcel number 02-094, or excuse me, 0954-0000.
I'll second that.
Motion to second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Now we need to come back out into commission meeting.
Make a motion that we adjourn as the Carbon County Board,
The municipal building authority.
the Municipal Building Authority, and reconvene as the Carbon County Commission.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 9, assessor update. Amy and Kevin.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Amy Schmidt-Peters, Carbon County Assessor. So, couple updates where we're at with BOE appeals, right? We all want to know that. We're at 829 total. Thanks everybody for getting those appeals in by the 15th of September, which was our due date. So, assessor initiated appeals. Out of that was about 199. Completed so far is 267, either through agreement, stipulation, or BOE hearings. A couple of things that we wanted to educate the folks on. One of them is primary resident and how you get that. You need to fill out the application and turn it in before September 15th if it applies to you for primary residence to the assessor's office. The form that you fill out is a TC form 47-3D, D as in dog. So that's called tax commission. So you can find it on the tax commission website, or you can come in and get one if you like. So a couple things along with that. People get confused about what primary residence mean. It will give you a 45% exemption on your valued tax. So, or your value for your property rather. So you get one. So you can't have it on your secondary home, you have it on your primary home. But if you want your secondary home to be your primary home, that is up to you. You just need to spend 183 days there consecutively, all right? Other than that, each household can get one. The majority of Utah residents do have them, unless they have a secondary resident, then they pay the full valuation on that. You have any questions on that? Okay, awesome. I have one more educational piece to help everybody out there. There's been confusion about when we talk about types of property. So types of property on your valuation, a lot of people see residential primary land or secondary land, or they'll see commercial. So it's either commercial or it's residential, okay? So don't be confused. They're just, even if you have vacant land and we call it residential, don't worry about that, okay? We have residential and it breaks down into primary land or secondary land. If you get your primary exemption on it, then it's called primary. If not, it's secondary land. Along with the secondary land can be agricultural. And that just is a designation that we know that you're getting Greenbelt exemption on it. So if anyone has questions about that, please give us a call in our office and we'll help you understand those two. But that's basically what's on your valuation. So if you come across those and you know you don't have commercial land, let us know. Those are errors that need to be corrected. I just want to thank you guys for your support, and thanks to the public out there for bringing the errors to us. We appreciate that and getting those corrected. I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Amy.
You bet.
Thank you.
Item number 10 is adjourn as the Carbon County Board of Commissioners and convene as the Carbon County Board of Equalization. The motion?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn as the Carbon County Board of Commissioners and convene as the Carbon County Board of Equalization.
And I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. We're now in Board of Equalization, so the next item is consideration and possible approval of assessor-initiated adjustments. Kevin.
So these are both the assessor-initiated adjustments, and we actually started hearings last week. So there's 1 or 2 parcels on there that actually went through a hearing, and there's a recommendation from the hearing officer that is also included there. Both of those parcels were parcels that were under Schofield Lake. So the recommendation from the hearing officer on those 2 particular was to maintain the current values because they are well below what the sales are, believe it or not, of property under Schofield Lake. So it was a good conversation to have with the property owners as to why they're not still just $1,000 for 40 acres, which was holdover from last I saw was from 2018. So those have all been corrected now and they're being actually valued.
So we have a list of about 80. Is there, you get a number on them?
Well, I think there was 89, but 80's good too. There's a lot. Most of them have been stipulated. If they've not been stipulated, we've reached out to the homeowners or property owners.
And why don't you define what that is, stipulated?
The stipulation means that we have signed a formal document that we agree to the value, and it ends further appeal rights for this tax year. It's paperwork, but it's important because it allows everybody to know, yes, we actually agreed. Sometimes people are busy and they don't have time to come in, and they're like, I don't want to sign the stipulation, but I agree to it. So in that case, we don't hold it in limbo. We don't send it to a hearing because that just incurs more cost for the county. But as long as we have that agreement, we'll put in on the sheet that it's recommended. And that's what it means, that it's recommended, but we don't have the signed document. With that, they still have appeal rights if they change their mind, but most of them don't. So.
Yeah, and I appreciate you taking the personal touch too as well, and going to people and working this out. So thank you for that.
Yeah, we have inspected a lot of homes. I don't know the count, but every week that I'm down here, we're doing at least 5 or 6 per week. There was a couple weeks ago that we did 15 inspections. So there's a lot, but we're just trying to get the characteristics correct. We're seeing some of the errors we're seeing as we do this. Properties that are manufactured homes that have had additions on them, they appear to be consistently done wrong throughout the entire county. So we'll be working hard to correct those. And the main error we're finding there is they were put in as modular homes and not left as manufactured homes. And they tried to fix it by calling it a fair quality instead of calling it a manufactured. And in our system, we can split the improvement is to manufactured and stick built and value the separate components. And that wasn't followed previously. So we're going to fix that. That creates the manufactured properties depreciate faster and at a different schedule. So when you're doing market adjusted cost, that's really important distinguish between those two and not call them stick-built, because the stick-built has an economic life of 60 to 65 years, whereas a manufactured home has an economic life of 30. So it appreciates twice as fast. Other than that, we've had a few areas where we're just have some little cleanup here. Most of the cleanup that we do, we can actually go into the CAMA system and fix the characteristics, and we're so close to what the people are asking for that it makes really easy. We've been doing a lot of training and teaching for the staff on how to pull comps, how to look at the comps, how to make the adjustments for the comps, so that they can get more and more experience with that and become, get some more confidence in what they're doing, so that when they come, it's adjusted right. So. Any other questions? I talked a lot.
Well, I just want to make a statement. I think, we've had some concerns the last few times where people made the false assumption that you somehow are trying to inflate numbers in order to bring home taxes for the county. You want to settle that debate here? Make your statement.
Yeah, so I don't care about taxes. And people are like, what? You're the tax guy. My job is to hit fair market value. If that lowers somebody's taxes or raises somebody's taxes, that's not my concern. And the reason it's not my concern is if I take that as a concern or as I got to make sure this is right because of taxes, then I enter into it's a bias. And I start trying to fight for people. Hey, nobody likes to pay taxes. I don't like to pay taxes. So I'm going to fight for everybody to lower their taxes. That's not my job. My job and the assessor's office job is to find out what the fair market value of the property is and let the taxes fall where they may. So when we look at appeals, the first thing we look at is the characteristics. My staff is probably sick of hearing me pull up the photo. Okay. Next question is, what's the quality? And then we do the quality. I said, look at all the photos. And then we go through every comp that we're using. What's the quality? And we start looking at all of the characteristics. The last thing we look at, what did we value it at? Why do we look at it last? Well, we have to look at it to see if we're off or not. And I think last is the appropriate place for that to be. The second to last thing is, what do the homeowners think it's worth? Because I also don't want to be biased there. Because if you look at what the homeowner wants, then you start looking for that value. And again, we're not trying to find what they want. We're trying to find what market value is. So by not caring about those things, it helps us be unbiased in what we're doing. Not perfect, but unbiased.
Yeah, that's really important, and I hope the taxpayers realize that we have folks that are upset because their taxes or the value went up on a home, and the answer is you should be thanking us for the previous years because it was probably too low.
Yeah, they don't like to hear that, but you're right.
But that's the fact, and the reality of what we're trying to do is make it fair so that no one is overtaxed.
Yeah, I'm hoping as we look at the data for this upcoming year and that we've made some adjustments to some of the areas, but they're all in what I would call a net effect positive for the homeowners. We had a neighborhood over in Kenilworth that we had missed. It was stuck in with a bunch of other homes, and those values were overestimated because of that. So we re-neighborhooded them. We put them in with other similar homes so that we can properly value. And we'll be doing that to other similar properties so that we can have that better. As we move forward, this is a process. It's not something that happens overnight. When you start going from a process of factoring every year to actually valuing, which is the state mandates that we put a new value on every single parcel in the county every year. Okay. The difference between revaluing and factoring is factoring, you just say, okay, we'll take last year's number and we'll play with it a little bit. Okay, you don't look at the characteristics, you don't look at anything, you just say, well, the cells show that we have a factor of 4%, so we factor 4%. And it leads to a lot of inequity over time. So the state statute is written that we have to value once or every year. We look at property characteristics at a minimum of once every 5 years. So we've had a few people confused about that. I got my property adjusted last year, why did it change? Well, it's going to change every year. Hopefully not much, and hopefully within the market. But as we get our models built better and our data built better, we'll get better and better with what we're doing so that we have less of that bounce and the market's more stabilized. And it only goes up when the market goes up, and it only goes down when the market goes down. So that's the goal. We're not there yet. Working on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I don't. Make a motion that we approve the assessor initiated adjustments.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Now we need to adjourn as the Board of Equalization. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn as the Carbon County Board of Equalization and convene as the Carbon County Board of Commissioners.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.